Hi, today we're going to talk about the SD-WAN controller deployment on the Microsoft Azure infrastructures. Because recently Cisco has announced that the SD-WAN controller is now supported to install on the customer account Azure infrastructures already. So it has some benefits here. First is the benefits to the customer who has their own Azure cloud and they want to deploy the SD-WAN controller under the account. It is now possible. Second, if you want to do the lab, if you are the partner or if you are the customers and you want to do the lab, it is now possible to spin up the SD-WAN controller on the Azure cloud as well. So in this video, we're going to show you the process to deploy the SD-WAN controller on the Azure cloud step by step. Okay, let's take a look. Now, let's talk a brief workflow that we're going to take in order to spin up the SD-WAN controller on the Microsoft Azure. First, we need to prepare the image. We need to download the SD-WAN controller image from the software.cisco.com. And once we download that already, then we're going to unzip it and upload it back to the storage account on Azure. Then we're going to create the image from that files to the Microsoft Azure. All right, let's take a look on how we do it step by step. First, we go to the software.cisco.com to download the installation files. Go to the download page, search for the SD-WAN software. And now we need to download all of the three components: vManage, vSmart, and the vbond. Then we click on the vManage software. We go down to the 20.7 software version, and we need to select this one, the vManage New Deployment Microsoft Azure Image. We can see that the extension files, it's .tar.gc. We need to download this and unzip this one first to get the .vsd files extension. So let's click on let's click on the download. Here. We need to make a download for all of the three components. Then we go to the vSmart and download it. Right, the same file extension .tar.gc. And then once we unzip it, we're gonna get the VSD files. Suppose that I already downloaded the files from the software.cisco.com, and then I unzip it already, so that you can see the file's name is gonna be .vsd. So these are the files that we need to upload to the Microsoft Azure. So now the file is ready in the computer. Then let's take a look on the Azure side. On the Azure side, we can create the resource group here just to consolidate all of the resources required for the SD-WAN controller. I have already created Cisco SD-WAN controller resource group so that I don't need to create another one. Then I click on that. I have a storage account here, but if you don't have one, maybe you can create another one, storage account. The storage account is where you're gonna keep your files inside, right? So you're gonna select the subscription and the resource group. In my case, it's Cisco SD-WAN controller, and you put the storage account name. You just put storage account. Region is Southeast Asia. Location, right? Then I just click on review and create. But because I have the storage account already, created. So I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna go back to my resource group and click on the storage account that I have right now. Then I go to the blob service, right? Then I can create the containers here. This is the container that we're gonna put the files in. Let's say SD-WAN files container. Then don't forget to change the access level to the container and then click create, right? And this is the container that we just created. Double click into that, and then we upload the files to this container. Again, the files that you need to download, that you need to upload is going to be 3 of the files here. vManage, vManage, vEdge, and vsmart. Let's do the upload. Okay, you need to, when you select the files, when you select this file, the VSD, when you select this file, then don't forget to click on advanced and then change the blob type to paste blob, okay? And then click on upload. You're gonna have to upload all of the 3 components here, and it's gonna take a lot of time. For me, it takes about 1 day. So I'm not gonna do it right now because I have done it already in this container. I have all of the files uploaded successfully already, right? From these files, I'm gonna go to the image now. I'm gonna create the image from these files. This is a custom image. Then I just go create the image here, and I put to the resource group, Cisco SD-WAN Controller. I just name it vManage 17.7. Region is Southeast Asia. Choose OS type as a Linux. Storage blob. Because this is a vManage, so I'm gonna click on the vManage.vhd files. Select account type, standard SSD, and that's it. So just click on review and create. Okay. We need to do for all of the components on the of the SD-WAN. So I do another one, which is the vSmart and also the vBond. Create the image, select the resource group, vSmart 17.7, Linux, browse to the vSmart, create. This one is for the vBond 17.7, Linux. For the vBond, we use the vH image. Account type, standard SSD, and create. All right, now we have 3 images created, right? This is for the preparation of the image. Then we're gonna prepare the network infrastructures on the Azure side. Let's go back to the PowerPoint. Now this, the first part is done. Then we're gonna go and prepare the network infrastructure for the controllers. First, we need to create the VNet. This is where those controller will be located. We have inside the same VNet, we have two subnets there, our band subnet and the VPN0 subnet. And because the controller needs to contact to the other edges to the internet, then we need to have a security network, network security group. We're gonna allow this kind of thing like SSH, HTTP for the outbound interface, and for the VPN0, we're gonna allow SSH, HTTPS, and also the Viptela port requirement, the UDP 12346 to the 13046. Let's go back to the Azure, and then we start configuring the VNet. From the resource group, we go create. We type in virtual network, create. So this is the virtual network under the resource group, right? So I'm gonna put virtual network for SD-WAN controller, IP address. You can put any other thing, but for me, I just want to put 10.3.0.0.16. And I create the subnet here because it has a default subnet created already, but I don't want to use it. I just want to use the our band subnet. I'm going to create our band subnet, which is 10.3.255.0/24. Also, I have a VPN0 subnet, which is 10.3.1.0/24. So now I have created two subnets inside the VNet that I'm gonna create, right? Then click on next and review and create. So now the VNet and the two subnets are being created. Now I go back because I need to create the network security group also because that is acting like the access control list to the VM. Then I search for I go back to the resource group. I create the network security group. Now I'm gonna create two network security group because I have two subnets, right? So I'm gonna put the first one is I put the name network security group for our band. Right, done. Create. Go back to the resource group. I do it again for the network security group for the VPN0. Southeast Asia locations. Okay. So now I have created two network security group. Let's go inside network security group and configure the rules that required for the VM, the virtual machine, to communicate outside, okay, and inside. This is the network security group of the VPN0. You can check here that it has the inbound rules and it has outbound rules, right? Looking at the outbound rules, it has one rule saying that anything from the VM to the internet, it allows, which is allow everything going out. But for the inbound traffic to the VM from the internet, it has a deny access here, right? So you need to allow something coming into the VM. Then you click on edit, go to the inbound security rules, and then you add a rules, right? basically from the front end VPN 0, you need to have the maybe SSH, maybe from the, I just want a specific IP address to be able to access the controller. So I just put my uh, IP address. To be able to secure shell, change the name to allow SSH. Also HTTPS. Okay. And from the slide, because this is a VPN 0 network security group, then there will be some Viptela ports from the edges devices gonna connect to those controller as well. Then you need to add the rules for that. Now the service is a custom ports using port 12346 13046, for example, UDP port, and then I will name it allow Viptela prototype. Okay. This is for the front end. So I'm gonna change this one to here. So this is done for the VPN 0 network security group. Then I'm gonna change it also out band interface of the out band network security group. Then let's go back to resource group, Cisco SD-WAN Controller. Then I click on the out band network security group. Click on the inbound, I add the same thing, but this time it's gonna be only secure shell and HTTPS. Maybe HTTPS first. SSH. All right, this is done. Okay, then we are good for the preparation of the network infrastructures. Let's check our checklist. Okay, this is done. Subnet is created. Network security group has been created. Then we're gonna apply, we're gonna put the vManage, vbond, vsmart inside this vnet. So this is the example diagram. For the vManage, we're gonna have only one interface here. vSmart also, it has only one interface, but for the vBond, we're gonna have to have two interface. The first one is the out-of-band subnet, the out-of-band interface. The second one is the VPN 0 interface. Okay, and this is all of the component that we have created just now, the VNet and also the network security group. Okay, allow SSH, allow HTTPS. This one is allow SSH, allow HTTPS, and allow Viptela protocols for the front end VPN 0. Okay. Now we're gonna create the VM, the virtual machine. Let's start from the vManage first. Look at this diagram. We have a vManage. We have a vSmart, vBond, and vManage. We're gonna start with the vManage first. you can see that the vManage has two disks. The first disk is the OS disk. The second disk is the database. Okay, because the VM that we're gonna create has only one disk, then we're gonna have to add another disk into the the virtual machine as well. Then let's take a look how we do it. Now go back to the controller. This is the image of the vManage 17.7, 20.7 maybe. Then create the VM. I say the name of the VM 20.7. It's fine. The size of the instance is, you can actually select it. It has a high range of the spec, but usually I use this one for the vManage D8S V3, right? You can click on this because it has 8 core CPUs, 32 gig RAMs. That is very good, right? Select it. But it costs you a lot. It costs you about $300 per month. Then you don't want to pay that much. If you are using it in your lab, so you can use the spot instance as well. If you click on this, the spot instance is basically it will charge you a cheaper price, but it will not guarantee the uptime, right? So you can see that it reduces the cost a lot. And if it is for the testing purposes, then you can shut it down when you do not use it, right? So it's gonna save a lot of cost here. So again, if you are using as a lab controller, then don't forget to choose the spot instance as well. Then you go to the password, you put the credentials there. This credential it doesn't do anything because the software itself, it has the credentials already, right? But it is required to put it in, so I put it in. And then the license type is others. Next to the disk, because this is a vManage, right? As I said, vManage has two disks. First disk is the OS, another disk is the database. We need to add now the database disk. The database disk, you can select the size of the disk as well. This is a lab, so I just want to put it small number. I'm going to like 128 gigabyte of the storage and use the standard SSD instead of premium SSD, okay? Click on that and then click on OK. I have added another disk there. Now I go to the networking. As I said, the vManage has only one interface. As the example, that interface is facing the VPN 0. So then I'm going to choose the subnet, VPN 0 subnet that we just created. And then we're going to create the public IP for it. Then from the network security group, I would like to use the network security group that I created for the VPN 0, right? So I choose the network security group for VPN 0 because it has everything that we need to allow the traffic coming into the to the virtual machine. After that, go to the management, click on enable with custom storage account. Choose your storage account. This one is allowing you to be able to do a serial console to your vManage. You're gonna have to use this one because you need to install the, you need to get the access to the console access to the vManage. Okay, you're gonna use this one. Then after that, click on review and create. All right, it's gonna take you some time. So let's go to other components, which is the vsmart, create the VM. It's the same thing actually. So we're gonna put vsmart 20.7. Everything here. You can change the size because the vSmart doesn't require that much resource, right? So we probably want to use this one, D2S version 3. And again, this is the lab. Then you just click on the spot instance. Sizing wise is fine. Username, Cisco. All right. And then license type, others. The disk, you do not need to have another disk for the vSmart because if you look at the diagram here, the vSmart has only one disk, which is already provided by the image itself. So for the vSmart, you don't need to do anything. And also the interface of the vSmart, it requires only one interface facing the VPN 0. So you don't need to add another interface in, okay? Then let's go back to the Azure. Then this is done. Go to the networking. Again, this is the VPN 0 interface. Then we just put it in the VPN 0 subnet. We're gonna apply the network security group into this interface, the VPN 0 network security group into this interface. So yep, it is done from here. Management again. You can select this one if you want to gain the access to the console, to the vSmart. Then if you do not want it, then you do not need to do it. But maybe at this in this example, we will enable this one to be able to do console access to the VM, okay? And create. Okay, now the vSmart is done. Let's take a look at the vBond now. We click on the vBond image and we create the VM from the image that we have. So we name it vBond 20.7. Choose the size of the instance. Again, vBond doesn't need a lot of resources, then we can just put a very small one. Don't forget to choose the spot instance. Put in the username and password. This for the vBond. Again, going back to here, vBond doesn't need to have additional disk, so we can leave it like that. But the vBond needs to have two interfaces. The first interface is going to be the out-of-band interface here. And you need to add later on another interface, which will be the VPN 0 interface. Okay, but now you're going to add only one interface there to the vBond, which is the out-of-band interface. Then go to the networking. You need to put the out-of-band interface. Okay, and this one you might want to change the name to out-of-band IP. Apply the network security group, NSG out-of-band. Then management, click on enable with custom storage account. Click on review and create. Okay, now all of the three controllers are being created. I hope that the vManage is already done. Let's take a look at the vManage now, because we need to install the software to the vManage as well. Then go back to the vManage, VM, This is the virtual machine. Okay, then I just click on it. Then I see that it gets the IP address already, the public IP address already. It started already. Then I go to the serial console. So this one allows you to get the console access to the instance. Let's take a look at that. All right, now you see that the system is ready. Then you click enter, log in, but you don't need to log in as the username and password that you put into the Azure portal. You just put in admin. It's the default password for the vManage, okay? I put admin, and then it asks for the new password. I just put the new password in. Now it's gonna ask you what is this node, because the vManage itself has its own functionality, right? Because this is a lab, or it is the all-in-one features. Then I'm gonna put one compute and data together. Yes. Now I am able to select the disk where I want to put the database in, right? If you remember, I put the database here. I added the disk size of 128 gigabyte as a database. So I'm gonna put this one as a database disk. Okay, so I'm gonna put one. Yes. Okay, now let it runs for some time. So if you install everything and it will come back ready again. In the meantime, we go and check the vSmart and the vBond. Let's go back to the resource group. Click on the virtual machine. I go to the vBond and go to the serial console again. I just want to change the password because it's initial setup. I need to change the password first. Log into the vBond and put in admin. Okay. Now this is vBond. Let's configure something. Host name. Right. Let's do a secure shell to this box. Now I access the vBond already. So vBond is up fine. vManage is also being installed. Now the vSmart. Virtual machine. We scroll down. This is the vSmart virtual machine. We scroll down to the serial console. It's ready now. Type in the username password. All right, so this is done. Let's check if we can access from my terminal, right? So I go here to the virtual machine, check on the public IP of the vSmart. This is set to the vSmart. Yes, I can have access and I can log in. Okay, For the vSmart, it is done. Let's go back and check on the vManage, right? So let's go back here and vManage. I think it should be fine. Should be up already. vManage IP address is this one. Then check on the vManage. All right, I can access vManage. Let's check the status. Okay, it is being up application servers. Okay, then let's leave it there. One thing that I didn't have, there's one thing that we haven't done. Look at this, right? So if you on the vBond, because the vBond has two interface, but we just add only one interface for the vBond, which is the our band interface. We haven't add another interface for the VPN 0, so that you can see from the vBond. You can see from the vBond here has only one interface. Right? Has only one interface, which is in the hour band. For the VPN 0 interface is not yet added to the system. Then we need to shut down the vBond first and add it. Okay. Then let's go back to the vBond. V1 virtual machine and then stop. You need to stop the instance because otherwise it cannot let you add the interface onto the instance. Now we go to the networking, attach the network interface. This is going to be the new one. So I click on create network interface. I put in vBond VPN 0 interface. Subnet is the VPN 0 subnet. Apply the network security group as the NSG VPN 0. Click on create. Now the new interface is being attached to this instance, so we just need to wait a while. Now you can see this, the new interface has been attached, and this is the security group that we have for this interface. Then now it is good. Then we're gonna go back to the vBond and start it again. Okay. Now the system is ready. The vBond is ready. We can log in, test. Okay, vBond is up. Then I can try access from the command line, from the terminal on my computer. Now I can access the vBond. Let's compare the show interface tab now. It should get the new interface IP address now, right? This is already good. So now, going back to our diagram, now we have spin up vSmart, we have spin up vManage, we have spin up vBond with the two interface here. This is already successful. That is the steps that we need to do when we want to create the controllers, the SD-WAN controllers on Microsoft Azure. All right, that's it. Thank you for watching.